everybody, today I want to share with you about the connection breath. It goes by different names. I like the name connection breath because we're thinking about reconnecting our body, our breath work, our core, our pelvic floor after having a baby. Whether you delivered vaginally or had a C-section, learning this technique is so important. However, the cues that I like to use for women who have had a vaginal or a C-section birth are slightly different. You want to talk about the connection breath with me? Huh? Is that what it is? After birthing little cuties like you, we have to reconnect our pelvic floor. We do. It's of utmost importance. We have to make sure that we are using our core and our pelvic floor properly before we move on to exercises like squats or lunges or pretty much anything. I did not know about this until after my second child, and it made a big difference. I ended up with some pelvic floor issues, some prolapse after my second because I was like, 6-week checkup, I'm released, I can do whatever. And I just jumped back into high intensity exercise and my pelvic floor was like, whoa, we're not ready for that. So I did things a little bit differently after my third child, well, during my pregnancy with my third and after, because you live and learn. I had learned a lot about exercising while pregnant, exercising after pregnancy, and I definitely did things differently with my fourth as well. And my pelvic floor has thanked me. And it has made a really big difference in my recovery and in my strength moving forward. I didn't feel like I was backtracking because I wasn't quite ready. All that to say, a connection breath is the place to start after posture and alignment, which if you have not watched my posture tips video, I'll put that link down below. So you can start there and then move on to this connection breath before you move on to other exercises. I like to think there are 3 steps to the connection breath. The first one is just abdominal breathing. There are times where we want to do more of a 360 breath, which is breathing all the way through your rib cage as well as using your diaphragm. But for the connection breath, I really want to focus more on the diaphragm. The best way to do this is lying down in a comfortable position with your knees propped up. Then you are going to be expanding through your diaphragm. So in the inhale, your belly should inflate. A lot of us want to breathe only through the front part of our rib cage. So when we breathe in, everything expands out this way. Instead, we need to think about breathing through our diaphragm. So as you're lying down, you do an inhale and your belly inflates like a balloon. Then as you exhale, your belly deflates. Starting there, just inhaling, exhaling through your diaphragm, inhaling, exhaling. You can see that my belly is inflating in the inhale and deflating as much as a postpartum belly can be deflating as possible. So the second part of our connection breath is engaging our transverse abdominis. These are our deep inner abdominal muscles. They're under your muscles that you can see if you were to have a 6-pack. Back in my 6-pack days, you still couldn't see my transverse abdominis. These muscles are used for stabilizing, and you can work your abs all day, but if you're not engaging your transverse abdominis, you're really not gonna get very far. These are the muscles that are crucial for healing diastasis recti and bringing our abs back together, closer to be more stable. So during that inhale, you're going to inflate your belly and everything is relaxed. And then in the exhale, as you deflate, you're going to think about engaging those muscles. If you take your fingers from your hip bones and walk them in a little bit, that's where you'll be able to feel a slight swelling. That slight swelling is what you are looking for as you're engaging your transverse abdominis. So it should be relaxed and very soft in the inhale, and then as you exhale, you just want to engage them and they should puff up just a little bit under your fingertips. Inhale, inflate. Exhale, deflate, engage those transverse abdominis. We're not squeezing super tightly. It's just a gentle engagement. The third step in your connection breath is the pelvic floor. During your inhale, your pelvic floor should be completely relaxed. Think like you're sitting on the toilet and you're about to pee. Everything is relaxed. Then in the exhale, as we engage our transverse abdominis, we're also going to be engaging our pelvic floor. How we do this is engaging the full hammock of the pelvic floor. We can think about holding in your pee, lifting through your vagina in a Kegel, and also holding in a fart at the same time. So that whole pelvic floor is engaged and lifted. So you think about inhale, everything is relaxed. Exhale, your belly deflates, those transverse abdominis engage, and now you're lifting through your pelvic floor. Hold that for just a couple seconds and then take another inhale. This is the connection breath. It's the foundation and the basis. It is the first thing I do with clients before we move on to any other exercises postpartum. We want to make sure that we really have this connection breath down. We know how to engage our transverse abdominis. We know how to engage our pelvic floors and how it all works together. This can be a lot to think about, and it takes a lot of practice, making sure you're inflating, deflating, engaging your core, and then lifting through your pelvic floor. And sometimes when you try to lift through your pelvic floor, nothing really happens. Like postpartum, you pushed a baby out of there and you can't really feel that it's engaging at all. One, highly recommend going to see a pelvic floor therapist. They are miracle workers. And two, just give it some time. It definitely takes practice, and there's a lot of moving parts, and it takes this brain-body connection. If you've had a C-section, it may be harder for you to engage your transverse abdominis. You have a lot of scar tissue, a lot of numbness. After my C-section, it's like I couldn't really feel my lower abs at all. So that takes some healing and some time for your nerves to kind of build back before you can feel it. If you had a vaginal birth, depending on a lot of factors with your birth, it may be harder for you to engage your pelvic floor. For sure, go see a pelvic floor therapist. Before you really do anything exercise-wise, I highly recommend seeing a pelvic floor therapist. They are amazing. I did not start pelvic floor therapy until after my second child, and I totally wish I had gone before having my first, like during pregnancy or before pregnancy. It would have been so helpful for me. If you have any questions or comments about the connection breath, make sure to comment down below. If you found this video helpful, please like or share it, and I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye.